Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Fan. I hope you guys are doing well in your quarantine. Today I thought about making a video on dilation. If you don't know what dilation is, it's basically a practice for any transgender women who have undergone sexual reassignment surgery to practice for a lifetime so that we can retain our vaginal depth. Hopefully my experience and my story will help some of you out there who are starting out your dilation journey. And for those of you who have been dilating for a while, I hope this video will be interesting for you as well, just so you know how I dilate. And before I get started, just wanted to say the content for today will be of my own experience, so if you have further questions, I think it's important to consult a professional, but otherwise, let's get started. Okay, so I assume most of the people who are watching this video today are gonna be trans folks. So I want to just briefly go through why we need dilation. So basically, for trans women who have undergone sexual reassignment surgery, the newly created vaginal canal are being perceived as a wound by our body. So it's just the same concept as if we have gotten a piercing and we need to wear a earring for a long time so then the hole doesn't close up. So it's pretty much the same, and for trans women we just have to do dilation for our lifetime, and the frequency of dilation will be very intense at the beginning, and then gradually it can be more flexible. So yeah, so I'm gonna start by talking about how I dilate right after my surgery. Let's go! Alright, so right after my surgery, I was basically given a set of dilator. They look like this, and I started with Mr. Purple and Mr. Blue. They are kind of small, but it's a starting point, right? And I started 3 times a day and 20 minutes per session. And occasionally I will challenge myself with Mr. Green. It's a slightly bigger dilator, and when I use it I actually feel the tearing sensation, and I also sometimes I bleed, which is really gross, but that's what I needed to do according to my doctor to expand my vaginal canal and retain some depth. So yeah, I think in my experience, if you can start earlier on in the process to use a bigger dilator, it's always gonna be helpful, because as we heal, the scar tissue tends to contract and scar back, and this is gonna make it harder to use a bigger dilator. Yeah. And from the 3rd month on, I'm pretty much only using Mr. Blue and Mr. Green, and of course occasionally I will attempt the biggest dilator, which is Mr. Orange. I'll show you guys just a minute. So it's basically this dilator, and it's the biggest dilator in my set, and I think it's the biggest dilator for most dilator anyway. It's really big and thick, and here is the dots to indicate the depth. And yeah, this is really painful, but it's important to use this one eventually, okay? So yes, basically for the first 8 months, I dilate 3 times a day, and I'm mainly using the blue, green, and orange, and gradually I will try to use the orange, the biggest dilator, more often. And then after the 8-month mark, I started to dilate 2 times a day, so that's a lot easier. And then by the 1-year mark, what's interesting is that the pain that I'm feeling is starting to feel pleasurable, which is surprising, because for the longest time, the pain is not funny, and it's not, you know, it's very uncomfortable, and it's the main reason that I hate dilation. So now, thank God, like after 1 year, I'm able to feel, pleasurable with the pain. I don't know how cisgender women felt with their pain, but I'm glad it was at least pleasurable. And by the 2-year mark, I'm only dilating once a day. And one thing I want to share is that 1.5 years into my recovery, I actually attempted intimacies, and after multiple intimacies with men, I realized that, they're all different sizes out there. Some are smaller and some are bigger than my biggest dilators. So currently, I'm actually thinking about getting a vibrator with a bigger girth just to experience using it and to see if I can expand my vaginal canal even further. I know it's 7 years later, so maybe it's done and set, but I'm just curious to see if it's gonna work. So if I bought a vibrator with a bigger girth and I tried it, I'll definitely make a video and talk about my experience. So yeah, what else? Oh, so recently on Princess Jewel channel, on her latest video, she was talking about how she's experiencing pain, dilating, she's losing a lot of depth, and she pretty much just doesn't want to use her newly created vajayjay anymore. And I think it's so brave of her to share this piece of information first of all. And the reason I want to mention this is because it reminded me of my doctor telling me that for anyone undergone SRS surgery, there's always a chance of losing sensation, and as we are healing, as the tissues start to reconnect and nerves start to reconnect, sometimes there's a chance of getting extreme pain. So if you do experience extreme pain that's not there before, I think it's super important to get in touch with your surgeon again and just get everything checked out. I know sometimes minor revision is necessary to relieve that pain, so just don't feel discouraged and be proactive at your journey, and just be proud of yourself, most importantly. What else? So maybe I should talk about the lube that I'm using. So I'm using the lube from Pure. It's called Pure Sensitive Glide. It's a water-based lubrication, and it's paraben-free. I used to get bulk lubricants on eBay, and they are from some anonymous brand. I don't even know. I'm not sure if you guys are doing it or have experience doing it, but I just felt like for trans women, for all of us who are having to dilate every single day, and we are in contact with this lubrication every single day, it's super important to make sure that the ingredients are legit and they are safe and good for sensitive skin. So yeah, that's all. Anyway, I hope you guys find this video helpful today, and if you like my video, please give me a thumbs up. I will have more videos in the coming days since it's quarantine time and I have a lot of time to make videos. So if you want to see more, definitely click that subscribe button. But otherwise, I will see you in the next one. Bye! Thank you guys for watching this episode today. Here are the links to my Instagram account and my photography web shop. Feel free to have a look. Have a fantastic day. Bye!